Hi, I'm Jim, and today we're going to be talking about the recent temporary ban that CIG has imposed against reportedly 600 plus player accounts. These players were found to be excessively exploiting and were given reportedly a 3-month suspension. Now, I don't know if this was a blanket punishment to everyone that they identified, or if this was a scaling punishment based on how much this player abused the exploit. Personally, I'd imagine it was the latter of the two, but I don't know. Now, I do have an idea that I think would be a fun alternative to just an outright temporary ban, but I want to speak just a moment specifically to what these exploits were and CIG's take on the matter. So if you weren't aware, the most recent patch cycle of 323.1, there was an exploit discovered that allowed you to sell ship cargo multiple times. Mix this with the ability to load a C2 up with RMC, recycled material composites, that when bought and sold legitimately, a full C2 of RMC would net you around 2 million in profit, just shy of. But then after you duplicate the cargo, you have another 10 million to sell off as pure profit. And you can obviously see what this led to. Now, some of the community performed this exploit just to confirm it for the issue council, while others completely abused it just to acquire ridiculous amounts of credit in-game. And I'd imagine the fact that we just had a wallet wipe with 323 also is a large factor in why so many people were taking advantage of this exploit. Now, you could argue that them duping didn't really affect anyone else playing, and that the temp bans seem extreme for what could be considered victimless crimes, especially given the alpha status of the game. But for anyone that tried to sell RMC during all this, you very well noticed that there was almost never any demand for it. And had that just been due to over salvage or legitimate over trading, it'd be acceptable. And not to derail, but I do find the whole no demand mechanic to be a bit odd. I just expect that the purchase value to keep going down with the demand relative to the supply, but that's a discussion for a different topic. So here's CIG's post about the incident, and then we'll get on to my idea of a potential alternative to temp bans. Now, I won't read this post verbatim. I trust that you can all read, and I trust your reading comprehension abilities. So at the heart of the post, it basically states that while they encourage the discovery and reporting of in-game exploits, that once it moves past confirmation and starts to enter the realm of abuse, they will be taking action against those players. And in this case, they removed the in-game funds and issued temporary bans to over 600 players. Now, I'm fine with this, and I think most backers and players are fine with this. My only slight problem comes with this being the first instance that I've seen CIG take such aggressive actions against this many players. I would have rather seen a wallet wipe for those accounts and a few days suspension, then followed up with a message that they will begin more strict and severe punishments when people are found to be exploiting than the couple days ban these players received. I do, however, have what I think is a more appropriate action CIG could be looking into. StarCitizen is uniquely equipped to punish players in-game, more so than any other MMO that I've played or have experience with. Where other MMOs can really only punish players by resetting progress, resetting items and wallets, and denying game access, we, unlike other games, have a prison system, and I think they should use it. I think it'd be hilarious if CIG made a new crime stat or a new crime level that cannot be paid off at a terminal and cannot be hacked away. Those players should be forced to either wait out or mine away their owed prison sentences. Now sure, they could escape, but that crime stat would stay there, always waiting, always looming over their head. They can't pay it off. They can't hack it away. They owe their time. They could also take other actions, like applying a scarlet letter to that player with the in-game reputation system. So anyone interacting with them in the future could easily see, if so interested, that this player was confirmed as a cheater or an exploiter. Orgs and players that want to avoid being associated with these type of players could easily do so. Now, this is all obviously targeted towards players that deserve temporary suspensions. Anything a player does in game that the devs feel deserve a permanent ban, obviously this is not applicable to those situations. Now, I've linked my response to this dev post on Spectrum, and it largely shares the same ideas. So if you agree with this, I'll link it in the description. Feel free to go click on it, reply to it, give it an upvote. Maybe the devs will see it and we'll get something akin to this or something other than just a ban solution. as I just feel we have a unique opportunity with this game to both punish and reward players in ways that other MMOs just didn't have available. And I think it'd just be a waste not to at least explore them. But comment with your ideas on what an alternative way for punishment or rewards could be in-game other than just outright temporary denial of access. Or do you think that's the only option and the best case scenario is to just temporarily deny access to a game? If you enjoy this style of content, drop a like or consider subscribing. I really appreciate all of the feedback. But as always, see you in the verse.